The story of the non-air-conditioned bus in 2026 is not just about an outdated vehicle on the road. It is a reflection of the struggle between tradition and modernity, between affordability and comfort, and between sustainability and practicality. While the world is rapidly moving toward futuristic electric vehicles, autonomous shuttles, and luxurious air-conditioned transit systems, the non-air-conditioned bus still remains alive in many places, carrying millions of people every single day. To some, it is a symbol of inconvenience and discomfort. To others, it represents an essential and affordable mode of transportation that continues to play a critical role in urban mobility. In 2026, the demand for low-cost public transport has not disappeared. In fact, in many developing cities and even within certain communities in developed countries, the non-air-conditioned bus continues to thrive because of its low ticket fares and ability to serve populations who cannot afford premium transit services. Governments face the challenge of balancing modernization with inclusivity. While air-conditioned buses and electric fleets are becoming the standard in major urban centers, the non-air-conditioned bus has held on because of its cost efficiency. Operating such buses is cheaper for transit authorities, and in return, passengers who cannot spare extra money for comfort still have a reliable way to move around the city. Riding a non-air-conditioned bus in 2026 is an experience of contrasts. On one hand, passengers endure the natural climate, hot summers, humid afternoons, and cold winds in the winter. The windows remain open to let the breeze in, creating a noisy environment filled with the sounds of traffic, conversations, and the raw pulse of the city. On the other hand, these buses carry a sense of authenticity that connects people more directly to their environment. You see the streets up close, hear the honks and music from outside, and feel the reality of the city with every turn of the wheel. For some, this chaotic atmosphere is part of the charm. For others, it is a daily struggle, a reminder of inequality in modern transportation access. The design of the non-air-conditioned bus in 2026 has not changed much compared to the past. Most of these buses remain simple, functional, and durable. Steel bodies, large sliding windows, overhead fans in some models, and basic cushioned or plastic seats define the ride. Unlike electric or hybrid luxury buses, maintenance is straightforward and affordable. Mechanics can repair them easily, spare parts are available at low costs, and operators prefer them in regions where budgets are tight. In rural areas or small towns, these buses are often the only form of public transport available. They can travel long distances on rough roads, making them an essential link between remote communities and the urban core. Yet, despite their importance, the non-air-conditioned bus faces constant criticism in 2026. Environmental activists argue that most of these buses still run on diesel or gasoline, contributing to air pollution and carbon emissions. Urban planners emphasize that upgrading fleets to cleaner, air-conditioned, and electrified models is necessary for sustainable growth. Passengers themselves often complain of discomfort, heat exhaustion, and safety concerns due to overcrowding. But the reality is not as simple as replacing all non-air-conditioned buses overnight. Transit budgets are limited, governments prioritize big cities first, and millions of people still depend on this older but vital system every day. The social aspect of the non-air-conditioned bus cannot be overlooked. For many passengers, this space becomes a moving community. Strangers sit shoulder to shoulder, exchanging stories, sharing snacks, and sometimes helping each other carry heavy bags. Street vendors hop on at stops, selling water bottles, fruit, or newspapers. Students travel together to school, workers head to factories and offices, and families visit markets and relatives. Inside these buses, the diversity of society is visible. Rich, poor, young, and old all find themselves squeezed into the same narrow aisle, bound together by the necessity of affordable transportation. By 2026, many transit authorities have tried to modernize the non-air-conditioned bus while keeping costs low. Some models are hybrids, running partly on electricity to reduce emissions. Others have improved seating, slightly better ventilation systems, and even solar-powered fans installed on the roof. Still, the core identity of these buses remains the same. No air conditioning, no luxury, just a simple ride from one stop to another. The focus is on function rather than comfort, and for many, that is enough. However, the global trend is moving toward climate-conscious transportation, and the non-air-conditioned bus is under pressure to adapt or disappear. Many countries have already announced long-term plans to phase out traditional fuel buses completely. Yet in 2026, full elimination is not realistic. In many parts of Asia, Africa, and Latin America, fleets of non-air-conditioned buses still dominate the roads. In some U.S. cities, old-school school buses and community shuttles without air conditioning continue to operate, especially in rural or low-income regions where upgrading is not a financial priority. The debate surrounding these buses is layered. Critics ask why, in a world of technological advancement, people are still forced to sit in sweltering heat just to get to work. Advocates argue that taking away these buses without offering affordable alternatives would hurt the very people who rely on them most. The non-air-conditioned bus may not align with futuristic visions of smart cities, but it embodies the complex reality of inclusivity in public transport. Looking toward the future, the fate of the non-air-conditioned bus in 2026 seems to stand at a crossroads. Will it slowly fade out as electrified fleets expand, or will it remain as a low-cost option for decades to come? Perhaps innovation will find a middle path, offering low-cost cooling technologies, improved ventilation, and cleaner fuels without drastically raising ticket prices. For now, passengers continue to climb aboard every day, accepting the heat, the noise, and the imperfections, because at the end of the day, what matters most is not luxury but mobility. The story of the non-air-conditioned bus in 2026 is not glamorous. It is not futuristic, and it is certainly not comfortable. But it is real, it is raw, and it is essential. It represents the resilience of public transportation systems in the face of economic, social, and environmental challenges. It reminds us that progress is not just about speed and comfort but about accessibility for all. As long as there are people who need to travel but cannot afford high fares, the non-air-conditioned bus will remain on the road, carrying its passengers forward, one journey at a time.